Hey everyone, I'm Rune, and today I'm going to be showing you how to flawlessly solo Crota Zen as a hunter. Before we start, here's my suggested build for your hunter and some gear you'll want to have. Blade Dancer I have on Flux Grenades, Better Control, Vanish, Escape Artist, Path Unknown, Shadowjack, Way of the Fearless, and Stalker. On Night Stalker I have on Vortex Grenades, Better Control, Black Hole, Vanish and Smoke, Path Unknown, Light of the Pack, Way of the Fearless, and Keen Scout. In terms of weapons, I recommend Scout Rifle, Solar Sniper Rifle, Full Auto Shotgun, and as necessities, you'll need Sleeper Simulant and Dragon's Breath. In terms of armor, you can really wear whatever you want. It's really up to you. You will need Bones of AO for one short specific section, but other than that, what you choose is up to you and your choice. Although wearing Void or Arc armor does work well to give you a little extra armor. That being said, we can start it up. If you aren't familiar with how the Ascendant Sword works, I recommend playing the story missions Fist of Crota on Earth, so you can take a mental note of how long it lasts, and the Sword of Crota on the Moon, so you can get a feel for how the sword handles. Pretty much the name of this run is going to be safety strats. There's a lot quicker ways to do this, a lot more flashy ways. But for the most part, we're going to play it safe, even if it is slower and less efficient. First thing we'll do is we'll cross our fingers as we fall down. Sometimes the game will kill us on our way down, and it's unfortunate if it happens, but it's so early on that a reset only makes us lose about a minute worth of work. This first section is mostly improvisational. It really depends on where the thrall are, how far up they are to start. These ones are up very close. Where exploder thralls are, and how their movement goes. For the most part, we can usually dodge them. There's sometimes one here on the left. There isn't one this time. It's very nice. But we'll loop around this first lamp, jump up onto these rocks, and like I said, we could do safety strats and jump up there, but that is very dangerous. We could have Weight of Darkness applied mid-jump, and even with Bones of AO and 4 jumps, it's still not an exact science for us hunters. Around this point, we should lose them for the most part. They'll be trailing us now, as opposed to us trying to wade through an army of them. Although they will start to catch up here. There's usually a thrall that pops out of that hole, or this one up here, and then usually another one up there too. Actually forego invisibility of this one because it takes too long for it to reapply, and he'll usually find us. This section here is probably the longest section. We'll go without a lamp. Thankfully we can have our Vanish on cast through Blade Dance. And that would help us out too. It can also help us just hang out by this lamp for a while without being spotted. But if we can save it, it's also very helpful. Night up here can be all sorts of spots. We kind of, that's not a very good spot, honestly. No, it's not a very good spot. Yeah, but he did not see me. Alright. Oh no, he did. He changed his mind. In terms of engagement plans, if you can crouch, if you have your melee, use your melee, and if you have neither, then you should use your super to go invisible. Also have to kind of gauge how far away they are if you think you'll have yours in time. If not, that was last second. If not, you can jump on top of a lamp with 0 weighted darkness and reapply it there. You can hide in this little crook behind this rock. Oh, I guess we can't today. Normally, there's nothing there, and we're just close enough to the lamp through the rock that we'll absorb its light and have our weighted darkness shut off, but I guess not today. Coming up after us. Should have enough time to go back invisible. We'll be skipping that lamp on the right and going straight through these rocks to the last lamp. If you can manage it, and I will here, but if you have a low enough weighted darkness to get down to 0, you can jump from that first rock onto the second. And you can still engage from that rock right there, but it is within the explosion radius, and you'll have to move a bit to the left there. And you'll also have to keep an eye out for thralls, because they can try to scratch you up on the top of it. Ogre takes 3 headshots, or 2.5 headshots to die. And after that, while we wait, really quick, we'll put on Night Stalker. And, we'll put on Night Stalker, and we'll swap to triple jump, Path Forgotten, and Way of the Drifter just to max out our agility. Also switch really quickly to Bones of AO. And, yep, we'll just wait. Here we just cross the bridge, and yeah, we'll just move on to the first more difficult section of the raid. If you're short on ammo, you can turn around here and just play horde mode and try to farm some ammo. I don't really recommend it though. If you have synths, I would pop those. Before we start this next section, I'm going to take a quick second to hit over here on the left and show where I choose to fly across from. A lot of people go over there on the right. I think it's over there somewhere. They fly across from over there. It's somewhat difficult for me to do that, so I just choose to go from this parapet here on the left. And what you do is you sprint, you quadruple jump up to get enough height, and you want to go slightly to the left, then make a right to go perpendicular to the bridge where it would be, and then make another left to go over there on the other end of the bridge. It's kind of tricky to get. It takes some trial and error. Don't expect to get in your very first try. It takes a bit of practice, but once you figure out, get the hang of it, you should get it a lot of the time. That being said, I'll start up the encounter. Once we kill the sword bearer, we'll have about 30 seconds to get across to the other end. Usually takes 3 shots to take down. That grenade was in a pretty good spot. And if you're at tier 5 intellect, by the time the sword reaches supercharge, you should have about 5 seconds left. That was a little bit low, I apologize. There we go, that was very close actually. If you can't take them out, it's no big deal, but it just helps you from having them pester you. We're going to go back really quick and revert our changes and switch to Blade Dancer, take off. We can't keep Bones on. No, we'll keep Night Stalker on just for the time being. But now we won't. We'll go back to Blade Dancer. But now we just kill all the Thrall and kill all the Acolytes for a little bit. We're up on top of these doors. You can shoot across and get a pretty good angle on the enemies on the other side. Once we can't really get anything, we just swap to the other side and take them out. And we're doing this until 3 Thrall come out of these doors underneath us. And once they come out, we'll be shortly followed by a wizard, and during that time, they will shortly be followed by the ogres coming out on the sides. So there's the witch. It's okay if we can't kill her first shot. We'll have to worry a little bit about the ogres. Normally the wizard is dead by this time, and there we are. Use a little... It normally takes 4 headshots with the sniper rifle and then a couple follow-ups with your scout to bring them down. If you need to use a sleeper shot though, do what you need to stay alive. I'll just scavenge for ammo really quick. And we'll move on to the next section. So we'll take out this first Shrieker just with our primary. And we'll run back. I'm just gonna wait for its Seekers to die out. What we'll do now is we'll assess the situation, take out a few of these Thrall that are too close to my liking. And we'll go invisible, and we're gonna head up to that coffin up there. We're gonna kill that second Shrieker with the Simulant Blast. And we'll just repeat. I'm just trying to get a couple more shots back for my sniper. I probably have enough on the ground here. But what we do now is you can just crouch, go invisible, make our way down the rest of the Thrall way. Again, it's another improvisational thing. You have to keep an eye out for exploders. But once you make it through all the way to the end, you complete the encounter and you're good to go. We're going to swap back now to Night Stalker. We'll need a tether in a minute. Take off Bones now. Put whatever back on. And yep, we're good to go now. So if you really wanted to, you could just wait here and build up your super and everything you'd like, but we don't really need to do that. We've got roughly 3 minutes now to do what we're going to do, and if you can hit that jump, you can jump up to the second level and save a second, but it's not really needed. But that's the reason we've been sandbagging Sleeper throughout this entire raid so far, is that it can shoot through and kill closed Shriekers, which completely nullifies about half of the encounter. But once we kill both Shriekers, we'll just head up to this boomer tower here on the left. And we'll just bide our time a little bit, clear out some of the enemies. Half of it is building up your super, and the other half is just clearing the way so you won't be, pestered when you're walking your way through. You won't have boomers shooting at you. You won't be getting cleaved in the back. So try to take out as many as you can. We're not really aiming for these guys. We're going to try to aim for the 2 knights that are guarding the doorway. We're usually hiding around the corner, but if we can take these guys out, we should have enough time to. If you can take them out, it saves you a bit of time too, in a couple minutes. We got maybe a minute left, a minute and a half left, before the liturgy begins. Alright, they're done. Acolytes will start pouring out behind us now, unfortunately. It's a little frustrating, but they don't do too much. Keep an eye out for these thrall will just rush you as well. There's the Acolytes behind me shooting past me. There's also exploders that will come out periodically too, so keep an eye out for them. We should be starting here in just a second if we can work our way up now. Yep. So hopefully your Ute's in a decent position. Hopefully I don't bonk in anything more. Yeah, that's a fairly good spot. So we'll just tether her and prevent anything else from dealing damage to us because they're all tethered. And your Ute dies in 2 headshots from Sleeper. And now we can just make our way out. If we get in any sticky situations, we can just pop down a smoke bomb. But we'll just make our way back to this tower really quick. And we'll swap to our shotgun and Dragon's Breath and back to Blade Dancer. At this point you can wear anything you want. Again, you probably still are, but if you have Tarantella, I put that on. Just prevents boomers from dealing a ton of damage to you instantly. It saves you a couple seconds. And Dragon's Breath also has surplus, so now when we're killing all these guys, hopefully we'll get a heavy brick drop. And if not, we have syntheses. But now we're gonna go and we're gonna clear everything out. These thrall will die on their own after a short period of time. They'll despawn. So you only have to really worry about these swarms of acolytes that come out. But this is just the most slowest, mundane, boring part of the raid. We just have to clear out all the enemies, work our way through, and then we'll make sure everything's clear. I believe there's a knight behind me. No, it's an acolyte. You can just continue to push in too. They'll be there. We'll do another lap around, but they won't push too much further in. Once we kill all the clear out a few of these inner ads, the window will shatter, and that means that we've completed this section of the encounter. There we are. From this point on, we cannot step on this plate. If we do, we will trigger Crota and we'll be in a very bad situation. Because we do not want these wizards still hanging around when we start up Crota. Yeah, just waves and waves of acolytes. Walking one by one up the stairs. It takes a little bit of time to kill them all, but that seemed like it. I'm just gonna do a quick lap around and make sure it is. Just for, oh, yep, someone escaped. We wouldn't want him hanging around. I'm gonna assume it's an acolyte, but we wouldn't want it to be a knight. Yeah, a whole bunch of acolytes. So that seemed like it. We'll just do a quick lap around. Yep, that seemed like everyone. So before I start up Crota, I'll just do a quick rundown of what we're going to be doing. So we'll clear all the ads in the center. After that, crouch at this door, go invisible, and we'll just hop down from here. The chalice will be right here. We'll grab that, and sword bearer will be coming out this door. Hopefully first. Sometimes he's preceded by a couple of thrall. We'll kill him, take his sword. We'll head up these right side rocks, this first bottom one, drop the sword, and at this point we're gonna Dragon's Breath at Crota's feet, roughly around where those concentric rings are. And it should just take one rocket if you aim it at his feet and it's in the optimal position. If not, he might walk out of it. For the most part, he'll stay in it. And it's kind of hard for us to gauge his shield bar from up here, so normally we will crouch and grab the sword and head back up and get our 3 slams in. But it's also, you have to kind of gauge, pop up there and look and see how much health he has when he's kneeling. It's just kind of something you have to try to guess and see, was my rocket in the optimal spot. But we'll hop up. If you're proficient with the Ascendant Sword, you'll know that hitting right trigger and holding forward towards your target will allow you to recover from your attack much quicker than just not doing anything. So if you do that, you'll be able to get 3 hits in, piece of cake, and then after your 3, we'll just dip out and head back inside. You can recover if you get just 2 hits, or If you're very unlucky, even one hit, you will just have to live through the ogres, and there's nothing much to them other than just hanging down underneath where we came in to fight your Ute, hanging down back there and shooting a couple rockets at them, popping off shots in their face, and just continuing off where you left off. If you do mess up again, you probably will have to take Crota when he's on one of the side platforms. That's not exactly the best situation to be in, but it can still be done. That being said, let's see how our luck is, and we'll take out Crota. Don't worry too much about these acolytes that are going to come in. We'll just pick up the chalice down there. We'll be good to go. They do deal some damage, but it's not too much. You can move through it. You can avoid it. It's always great. But don't feel like you're in immediate danger from if you throw with their shredders. You also will just check each side again really quick to make sure nothing's hiding outside or just out of our radar. Ounce of prevention. We can take our time inside here. You can get your bearings. You can go and get a drink of water once everything's dead, because the encounter doesn't officially start until we head outside and the boomers come out of their tower. So take your time. Once you're ready, go invisible, and we will do what we just talked about. Hop down. This is one of the suboptimal ones, but there is Swordbearer. And let's see what... It's probably going to be suboptimal. I only get 2 in. And it's not really enough time to try to go for 2 cycles per Crota. So, I mean, like by the time we jump back down, reload, have him kneel, we'll only have maybe enough time for 1 more slam. But we'll come back inside, we'll just restock, replenish, reload. And just head invisible again, and we'll head out onto the windowsill. Crota's rotated to the right. And we can just hang out right here. And we're well out of the range of anything that could actually hurt us. So we can keep an eye on Crota by crouching, or by sitting here. Keep an eye when Swordbearer comes out where he decides to go. He decides to go on the right, looks here. Just keep an eye on him so you know where he'll be. And keep an eye on Crota. We'll just be waiting for him to reposition himself. Hopefully we'll see one of the elusive Crota idle animations. Well, he's rotating back, we'll go invisible and repeat the process. And I'll just, for the sake of efficiency, I'll show you how to deal with ogres. We do kind of have to hang up in this front courtyard a little bit just to make sure they do come out. I've had a run ruined where they refuse to come out of their respective towers, and Sword Bear doesn't spawn until a little while after the ogres are dead. But don't worry about here, Crota's, he can still hit you with his bolts, but they don't deal too much damage unless they all hit you. As shown. Just don't taunt him, don't cause him to break his pathing and jump down. They're out. There we are. Oh, excuse me, I thought I had my sniper for a second. You do want them to go berserk, and because then they won't be shooting you. They're much easier to deal with, and you can just go invisible now. And we actually hug the right side, and then we will hug the left of the right side wall to ignore all these pesky thrall that are in here who decided not to come out for some reason. Ooh, that's an exploder. Normally they'll all just rush outside, but sometimes they'll want to fight. And now what we'll do, Crota's back in center. We'll now wait for him to go right, and then wait for him to return back to center before we do anything. Pick up our heavy. We'll crouch, he can't do anything from pretty much anywhere when we're on the windowsill. There's Sword Bear, we have a good idea where he's going to be. He's going to be on the right unless he really decides to switch it up and go all the way back to the left. Which it appears he is doing. But, yep, now we can just keep an eye on Crota. Make sure he doesn't do anything too unpredictable. And let's just get the last hit on in him. And that's that. Your Flawless Raider should be popping up. And congratulations, you would have done it. Well, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Take care. If this gets enough positive support, I'll probably make another one for Titan and Warlock as well. But until then, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.